yeah, if you don't mind, go through like how it went over there in Vegas and like just the sheer insanity that we're going through right now.
Well, our statewide shutdown started I think the week after you guys did in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we had a little bit of a grace period, so to speak, because obviously with the big tourism industry down on the strip, those resorts, those hotels are so huge. We had to clear everybody out. So it took probably about a week before all the resorts and everything were shut down. But restaurants, both in and out of the strip, they all shut down pretty much immediately after the governor announced the shutdown. It took about 3 months for our numbers to finally start going down enough to where they felt comfortable reopening. We're technically still in phase 2, but we actually just kind of took a step backwards yesterday. So the casinos were allowed to reopen on June 4th. And the first day they reopened, everybody was wearing masks and everything was good. The second day, nobody was wearing fucking masks.
Jesus.
And everything was not good. So we are one of the areas that have had a major resurgence of COVID. So the governor actually just announced yesterday that all freestanding bars and restaurants with bar areas have to close.
Oh my God.
So
that's great. Yeah. Which is the whole city. I mean, right? There's nowhere that I'm sure there's not a single place that doesn't have a bar in it.
Yeah, well, luckily with like restaurants, they just have to close the bar area. So you can still you can still go to a restaurant and get a meal and sit down and everything like that. You just can't sit at the bar.
Okay.
Now how I'm really curious, and I don't know like if you're much of a I'm really curious on how that worked out with the casinos when they open. Like how does that sanitization even work? Like with slot machines and the blackjack and all that stuff.
Well, obviously with table games, you got to take a little bit more precaution because you actually have the dealers standing there. So with slot machines, it's easier because they just completely shut off every 2 machines. So that way they have to be socially distant, at least somewhat. And then with the slot machine or with the table games, they put up plastic plexiglass dividers. So that way each person in their own little stall, and then the dealers separated as well.
That is such a crazy fucking time that we live in. I was very curious about that, like, because I know you're in Vegas. I was like, I wonder, and there's more things too that I wonder. So obviously now you're kind of going through that shutdown again. Is that affecting hotels at all now? The resurgence?
I don't really know. Hotels haven't upped the occupancy levels that hotels are allowed to be at. I can't remember exactly what they're allowed to be at, but they're not allowed to be at 100% occupancy. Okay. I think 50% max. I can't speak to what hotel business levels have been like since hotels have started reopening.